Hello, hello, welcome back. Thanks for joining me today. I was doing a little surfing for organization ideas and I came across a YouTube channel called Le Café Craft, and she had made a never-ending book to store her ephemera in. And it is really, really cool. So you can flip through it page by page to see what you have for ephemera. And when you get to the end, you can just keep flipping and look at what's on the other side. Or if you need to look at everything in one shot, you can open up your book and you can spread it out on your desk and look at everything. And then you can turn it over and look at everything on the other side. So I really, really liked her concept, liked her idea. I didn't really change much in the design elements or even in the construction to what she did. I will leave a link down below so that you can go and see her. She has a fantastic YouTube channel as well. So as you can see, this book is full, and if you're like me, you probably have way more ephemera than you know what to do with. So I'm going to walk you through how I made my book, and then we'll fill that second book up. So I used an old encyclopedia book for my folio. You can use any hardcover book that you want in any size that you want. The first thing you're going to need to do though is gut it. You want to take a rough measurement of your pages before you take them out. This book, the pages before I've removed it from the covers, is about 7 3/4 by roughly 10 1/2, 10 3/4. And then I just kind of rounded up and rounded down however I needed to. So the first thing I want to do is come in and cut out the meat of the book. So I'm just going to run along that spine, get in there, cut that apart. Once I've got that started and I can see what I'm doing, I just kind of keep working away at those strings, get that all removed so that I can get in there. These old books are so well made that it takes a little bit of work to get in there and get stuff taken apart. That's one cover off. And then I want to take that other cover off. There we go. Perfect. And I don't worry too much about wrecking the spine or anything like that. Okay, so once I have that cut, then I want to come in and just square that up and make sure it's nice and even. Give it a nice straight edge. And that'll give me a little bit of wiggle room. Sorry about that. Alright, so get that cut, straighten it up. That's my the hardest thing for me to do. My kids laugh at me because I just go, straight enough. I don't need anything perfect. But if you like perfect, then make sure you've got everything lined up really, really well as you even it up. And I'm just going to double check on the other side, make sure that it's cleaned up and relatively straight. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect, just close enough. There you go. So that's going to give me the covers of my book, front and back. And I've already pre-cut the papers that I'm going to use for my folios. So these pages here, I've already cut that. You could use something heavy like manila file folders, or like the hanging folders, that really nice stiff chipboardy cardboard. I've got what's called Padboard, so it's a little bit heavier than cardstock, but not as thick as a chipboard. And these make great pages, especially because I'm going to end up putting pattern paper and stuff on it anyways, and it will kind of stiffen up. So once your book's all together, you just want to kind of make sure everything's going to fit inside, which it is. So the first thing I'm going to do is take some packing tape. And I loved that the lady from Le Cafe Craft, she used packing tape to glue everything, stick everything together. And I thought that was really, really smart, especially because you can see, let's move that up a little bit. I'm going to just bring you in a little bit so you can see what I'm doing here. So I liked that you could see to match up your paper here. So I just take and I'm going to stick my first sheet of Padboard on, and then I'm going to bring my next one in. And I want to leave a little bit of space between the two pages so that I've got room to fold them. So, you know, about 1/8 of an inch or so, just so that I've got some space. And then I just took my tape, came up the other side, stuck everything down, and then just cut it off. And there's my first page done. So I'll show you how I did that one more time, and then I'm going to go off screen and finish putting the rest of my pages together, and I'll be back. So again, I took my tape, laid it out, laid that first piece of cardstock, Padboard, whatever you're using for your pages, laid that on the tape. And then I brought my second one in, and about 1/8 of an inch or so again there. Bring that packing tape up and over and stick it down on the other side. Alright, so I'm going to go and stick all of these together, and I will be right back. Alright, so I'm back, and I'm going to show you how to glue, how to tape your covers on. So I'm just going to just come in, and again, you want to leave a good 1/8 of an inch or even up to 1/4 inch on your covers, just to make sure you've got room. Oh, sorry, I'm off camera here. So I did the same thing. I've got my tape down, I've got my insert page, I've got the cover of my book. And I'm just going to tape that on. with that space there so that it's got room to fold nice. There's my front cover on my book. Now I'm going to put my back cover on my book. All right. So just like we've been doing all along, you're going to tape your page. You're going to put your cover in. And I've got 5 insert pages. You can put as many as you want. I found 5 was just right. Make sure you've got that adhered down well. There we go, and there is my book put together. Now, I'm not one who really trusts packing tape. It's actually kind of a weak and flimsy tape. Just making sure everything's lined up, looks good. So I'm not one that really trusts that packing tape to hold together super well. I've got this big roll of washi tape. It's quite pretty, but it's one I haven't really used for a lot of projects, and I don't necessarily always trust washi tape on its own to hold stuff. You could probably come in and use duct tape if you wanted. I just find duct tape sometimes is a little thicker than what I'd like, and then you've got like this thick tape underneath your pattern paper later. But this washi tape works really well. It's nice, especially this wide stuff. It's nice and wide. And then it also gives me a bit of a decorative edge, and because it's so nice and wide, it really covers everything quite well. And again, I'm lazy, so all I do is take and just wrap that tape. Wrap that tape around both sides. I don't worry too much if it wrinkles, because those wrinkles will get hidden inside underneath the pattern paper anyways, so just want to make sure everything's adhered, and that's because that packing tape, or that washi tape is so nice and thin, the wrinkles are unnoticeable once you've started doing stuff. So I'll show you again. So this is just to reinforce that packing tape. That's the only reason why I'm doing it, and because I just want something more decorative along there. So I'm just going to roll that down, flip my book, roll it back up the other side. And adhere it down. So I'm going to go and do this to all my papers, and then I will be right back. Alright, I'm back. I went through and picked out some pattern paper, and I have cut it all down to size so it will fit in my book nice. So I'm just gonna start adhering that. I'm using my Beacon 3-in-1 adhesive. I like it because it stays wet long enough that I can move the paper and line it up exactly how I want it. But it sets up quite quickly and holds exceptionally well. If you don't have Beacon 3-in-1, you can use the Fabri-Tac from the same line. It works really, really well. You can use any wet glue medium that you have. And as you can see, I'm not shy about my glue. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. I'm pretty liberal with my glue. I want my papers to stay stuck and in place. The nice thing with the Beacon is if you happen to get any glue anywhere you don't want it, it will just rub off. So, and I got all those inside pages taped down with my tissue tape. You don't have to have the big wide tissue tape like I used. You can use regular width tissue paper. I just had that, and I haven't been using this tissue tape for any other projects, so I figured this was a really good project to use it. So like I said, I went through and I picked out my pattern paper already. I've assigned it to a page, and I'm just going to go through and glue it down. I'll glue one more down here for you, and then I'll go and glue the rest down. I'm not going to make you sit here and watch me glue paper. There's way more fun things to do than that. But like I said, don't be shy with your glue. Make sure you get a good layer of adhesive down. Stick your paper in. You want to make sure that you've got your paper cut so that it doesn't sit in the folds when you're folding your book open and closed. You want to make sure that it fits in there quite nice. And I've just gone through, like I said, put papers together that I thought would look nice side by side. So I'm just going to go through now and adhere everything into place. So once I have everything glued down, I will be right back. Alright, so I've got everything glued in. All my pages are in place. Now we're going to cut strips to hold all our embellishments in. So I've already gone through and cut a bunch of strips. I was finding in that other book that I showed you that 1.5 inches and 1 inch were about perfect for my pocket sizes. However, you can make your pocket sizes whatever size you want based on whatever embellishments you're storing in them. So I just went through and I cut just a strip of paper, and then I rounded the corners just because I like that aesthetic look in my book. It's not a necessary step. You can definitely just leave your corners square, but I liked the aesthetic of having them rounded. Now in the other book that I showed you, I had put all of my large embellishments across the top and put my smaller ones across the bottom. In this book, I'm going to do my larger embellishments on the bottom and my smaller ones across the top. I played around in that first book I showed you. That was kind of my prototype book. And I decided as I went through that book that I really enjoyed the look of having all my pockets lined up evenly across from page to page. So I'll be doing that again in this book. It does probably limit you a little bit on how much you can store in your book, but really it's your book to hold your embellishments, so do whatever works for you. And that's just cardstock that I've cut. It was scraps that I had that I'm using, and cut them down with my paper trimmer. And then I'm just going to take and put a little bead of glue, run a bead of glue around the bottom and up the sides. Now once you have all your pockets glued into your book, You can take and embellish your book more and decorate everything inside your book. You could decorate the cover of your book. Because this is just a storage piece and it's going to be getting pulled in and out of my shelves quite frequently, I'm not going to bother putting a lot of embellishments or extra work on the cover, because it'll just get ripped or get torn as it's coming on and off my shelves. I want this to be a real kind of workhorse, as it were, just because it'll get pulled out probably with almost every single project I work on. Now, some people really like to make sure things are straight and even. I'm kind of what you call a close enough girl. As long as it looks close enough, I'm happy with it. It's my book. I'm not making this as a gift to give to anybody. I'm not selling it, so I'm not gonna worry about how even the pockets are, how straight things are. It doesn't bother me if things are a little bit cattywampus. But you do your book how it'll make you happy. Make whatever changes you need to make to your book to make it work for your needs. So I'm just going to finish gluing all of my pockets into place, and once that is done, I will be back to show you how I insert my embellishments. Alright, so we have all of our pockets glued into our book now. So now comes the fun part. We get to start putting in our embellishments. So you want to make sure you've got things sorted or grouped, however it is that you would like to have them together, and then you're just going to slide everything into your book. The nice thing is the book doesn't really take up very much space on a shelf, but the packaging that holds some of these pre-made embellishments can be quite bulky. And I hate that when I'm digging through a package for something so often, they're tangled together. In the book, they're separated, so they are much easier to get in and out and just take the one you want. It's also really nice to be able to open up your book and see at a glance what you have to work with, how many are left, that kind of thing. Excuse me as I reach across to grab another little bundle. So you could probably, like I said, fit way more into a book if you measured your embellishments and set your pockets exactly to the embellishments that you have that you're going to be storing. But I mean, as I use product up, new product will always be taking its place. So I really kind of felt by just setting my pockets out in the manner that I have, they would always work no matter what kind or what size embellishment I put in. And then there's lots of room for these smaller embellishments. You can always take and move stuff at an angle if need be. Feathers are a hard embellishment because they're so much taller than other embellishments. And then on the other side of your book, you can put a different style of embellishment in. I've got all of these Ancestors, I think is what the package was called, from Tim Holtz. And these guys are really, really bad for tangling up in the bucket. Oh, I need a little bit more glue along that pocket, I guess. So let's head over to this pocket instead. Gonna have to lay him down, make him look like he's sitting on the edge of the But as you can see, this works really nice, and then you can see just at a quick glance what you have, and you can organize your pockets however you would like. You can have just boys in pockets, just girls. If this happens to be the package that you're setting up. So let me know if you take and make this yourself, if you think this is a good idea. If you are going to try it, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and a like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because all those encyclopedia pages will make their way into other artwork. You could even use the encyclopedia paper to cover your chipboard with, and then you're not wasting that. But in my house, encyclopedia is something that encyclopedia paper is something that gets used an awful lot in my artwork for embellishments. So go out today and remember to find joy in your journey as you create and as you walk through this crazy world we're living in. Talk to you later. Have a really great day. Bye-bye.